Hello, Becky Edwards here, Purpose Driven Motherhood. Today, I have a short message for you about comparison that hurts and comparison that helps. You probably have heard the quote that's attributed to Eleanor Roosevelt that says, "Comparison is the thief of joy." You know what? I think there's a lot of truth to that. Comparison is the thief of joy. And that's when we compare our worst against someone else's best. We compare our weaknesses against someone else's strengths. That can be really discouraging, right? But did you know that there are two kinds of comparison that can actually help us and boost us up? That surprised me too, but they are both legitimate. Are you ready? The first way to use comparison that helps is when you are going through a tough trial or challenge in life, is to think of someone or a circumstance where it would be a lot harder. For example, I've been battling a head cold for about the last week and a half, and sometimes I feel a little sad about how many times I've coughed and blown my nose and have headaches, and I haven't felt that great. But if I stop for just a moment and think about my friend Meg Johnson, who is a quadriplegic in a wheelchair, or my other friend Connie Neal, who is a paraplegic in a wheelchair, suddenly I think, oh my goodness, guess what I can do? Guess how blessed I am. I can easily do my own grocery shopping and walk up and down the stairs and do my own dishes and type and handwrite and there's so many things I can do. I can run and walk and dance and exercise. And suddenly my little trial of having a pretty bad head cold feels pretty nothing. It's a really good perspective check. So that's the first one. And I will say, it's not a good time to use that on someone else if they're coming to you for just a good listening ear and some validation. If you have a child or a spouse or a friend who comes to you and just needs a little TLC, little understanding, and they need to, kind of vent for a moment, that's not the moment to say, well, guess what? You don't have it as bad as so-and-so, so you should just be quiet. No. That shuts people down. They don't feel heard and they don't feel valued and important. You can coach yourself this way and say, wow, let me think of a situation where it would be a lot harder. And then you have that perspective shift. Or you can ask the person that's maybe needs to vent for a moment. You can say, hey, are you ready for a little cheering up? And then you can, ask them that. What would it be like if you and I lived in a wheelchair? What could we not do that we can do right now? And suddenly the gratitude just grows. So the second one, the first way to use comparison that helps is a perspective check against someone else or a circumstance that's a lot more challenging. Now the second way to use comparison that helps is if you notice a gift or a quality in someone else that you would love to have yourself. Now, it's really easy to go into that negative comparison and think, oh, they're so much better than me. Oh, woe is me. No. Don't let yourself do that. Remember that in the Bible, Paul told the Corinthians, seek earnestly the best gifts. Covet the best gifts. Covet gifts. I don't know of any other scripture anywhere where God tells us it's good to covet, except this one time. Covet gifts. So if you know someone that you think, wow, I love the way that person teaches. They just teach with passion and power, and they move me to action. Guess what? You can ask for and seek and work on that same gift. Maybe someone else just has a gift for helping everyone feel included, and they're so friendly and it's just so natural to them. You can ask for and work for that same gift. So either of those two ways, whether you use it as a perspective check against someone else who has it harder, or whether you decide, I want that gift too, and then you start asking and seeking for it, those two ways are great ways to use comparison to help your life rather than hurt it. That's my invitation to you, my friends. Use comparison. In fact, I invite you to stop right now. Just pause for a moment right now and think of someone in your life who has it pretty tough. And if you don't know of someone like who's in a wheelchair or something like that, who maybe has cancer or has lost a spouse, some of those really tough challenges, then imagine someone. And then compare your trial that you're going through against that and see if that perspective check doesn't just fill you with gratitude. Have a fantastic day, my friends.